Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, $50 million wedding. Crazy. So what did it buy them? We're going to get into it. Also, we're going to take some of your voice note submissions. You can always leave us a voice note on our Instagram DMs, and we got a killer one. That'll be in segment 2. We can't wait to get to it. Let's start the Adam Wild and Jack show.
You know what? You know what the first thing Stephanie said to me when we got to New York is? I wonder if we'll run into the Jonas Brothers. You're so
Running
sweet.
into anyone in a city that big would be insane.
We're by the Rockefeller Center. She's like, they could be anywhere.
They could
and
be.
they could be.
They could be. They could be anywhere in the world.
Do we see them?
No, but they were there.
Yeah.
They are everywhere.
They're everywhere.
All right.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Show me those legs.
Oh, yeah.
Look at these. Look at these. Okay, first of all, listen, I know I sometimes objectify you, but I love your legs.
You like a man's legs?
You know, I love your legs. I've always loved your legs. I'll go on record. I have always loved Adam Wild's legs.
Strong calves.
And he has a turquoise treat for us today. Look at these little shorts.
You like my shorts? My green
Aquaman.
shorts? Yeah.
Oh,
I like my
summer's
little
here.
lime green shorts.
I love them. They are not lime green.
They're not
like,
lime green?
They're aqua.
Oh, they're aqua.
They're like a nice, like a light chartreuse.
Oh,
right?
No? Okay. All right. That
I
sounds
feel
very
like
elevated.
they're a darker green.
Yeah, that's what
Darker.
I think.
I feel
Is
like-
Jack's colorblind? Are we just finding this out?
Oh, she's gay and colorblind. Oh, God. What does she have going for her? Okay. Well, welcome
A great
Adam's
haircut.
legs.
A great haircut.
Excellent.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and good afternoon, however you're listening. Listen, a couple of things we want to ask you before we get going, okay?
Yes.
First off, we had some crazy good voice note submissions, like some
Oh
great
my
questions.
God.
And I honestly, am so excited to get to one. One of them was so good. It's actually our second segment. Like, it's such a good voice note. So we've moved it out of the I'm dying to know and put it in there. Very pumped for it. So you can always send it to us. Best way to do it is through Instagram, I think, because I don't think TikTok allows it. Just throw it on our Instagram DMs.
Just throw
Easy.
it on the
Throw it on there.
DMs. Just throw it on there.
And it could be late night. You could be hammered. You could be lonely. Be whatever it is, and be like, "Hey, I always want to tell you I have feelings for Jax," which is most of our DMs anyway.
No, that's not true. But
It's a
you
little
can
true.
you can send us any of your long under a minute thoughts. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So I,
you know those voice notes that go like 16 minutes. It's like, and I just like, anyways, or no, do guys do that to each other? Because girls do.
We don't. So, okay. So the only thing, guy voice notes are interesting because they're short. They know, like, unless it's a great, you better have a 10 out of 10 story.
Yeah.
You know that meme where it's like, I ain't reading all that, but I'm happy for you. Or sorry that happened. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Guys we're short attention span. You better get to the point. So I have a group chat with a lot of the guys, my hockey buddies, like guys that I work with in hockey. And so, we're trading like news stories and rumors and stories we have or whatever.
Like
and then
gossip.
occasionally Steve will jump in and have this hilarious rant. And there's also this other guy in the group who's a good ranter. And so they'll like drop things in when they're frustrated or they've got feeling something, whatever. And the rest of us don't even bother with a voice note because I don't think we feel like we can compete on that level.
Really?
Like these two are so good at it. Whereas I find when I talk to Natalie, like everybody just does it. And it doesn't matter if the story is good or not. It's like, no, but you're expected to listen.
Oh, absolutely.
Whereas guys, it's like, we don't expect you to listen. It's like, listen, this is sort of bonus content.
There are a handful of people that I will listen to over a 5-minute voice note for.
Over a 5 minutes?
Some of the girls
What is this, a podcast?
Yeah, some of the girls send vlogs to each other. Yeah, like my friend Casey back home, I get about an average 2 to 3 minute. I'm ready for it. There are updates. There's story arcs. It's incredible. Like I have another friend, Teresa. She can send a wonderful voice note. And I'm like intrigued the entire time. Some other friends though, I don't have the heart to tell them like, girl, you've got to stop after
Let me
a
guess,
minute.
most of them are parents. The boring ones are the parents. The boring voice notes come from parents.
I didn't say that.
They are.
I didn't
They
say
just
that.
do. They straight up do. No, I know. Listen, I know. I am one. I can call it how I see it.
You can send me a voice note, but yes, send us voice notes at Adam Wild and Jax on Instagram. We'd love to chat with you.
We changed diaper brands and listen, I got to tell you this, like as a parent, there's nothing I hated more than parent talk. Like
Yeah, you
I
didn't like
remember
it.
I was at a party once and like, I'm like, we're at a party and I'm shoved into the corner with this dad who's just also, it happens to be a dad. So he's a male and I'm a male and we're forced to talk to each other. Yeah. Chris Rock does a bit on that. He's like, oh, you like baseball? Oh, I like baseball. Let's compare roots to work. Like literally that's male friendships in a nutshell. And, and anyway, he was like telling me about like, oh, wow, we had too much diaper rash from the first pair of diapers and whatever. I'm like, buddy, we got to do better than this. what music do you like? Have you seen a movie lately? And for most parents, the answer is no.
When I ask you, how are you? I want to know how you are.
Not your kid.
Yeah, not your kid.
That's such a good point. Well, or you know what kills me is like, and I've been guilty of this. It's like, how are you doing? Well, we're fine. Who's we? You and the kid and the rest of your family?
The unit.
No, I'm asking about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did that. I used to do that.
You are like because I have a lot of friends with kids, and you kept your identity. I think because you had to because you work so much. But like,
I think my belief is that the kid joins the family.
Yeah.
The family does not join the kid.
And Everly is like she's a tiny little adult and always has been. So that's probably working for you.
Chatty Cathy.
She loves to talk. Little chatty Cath. Yeah. I love her.
I actually, you know what I had to do? This may be saying this. I don't know if you're a parent and you're listening to this. My daughter's at the age where she's trying to make jokes. And sometimes she's legitimately like, there's some really funny moments. And other times she's just making like a weird horse noise.
Yeah.
And then she's like, Daddy, why are you laughing? And I go, Ev, like a joke's got to, you can't force the person to laugh. They either laugh or they don't. And she said, does that mean I'm not funny? I said, no, it doesn't mean you're not funny. I said, I think you're very funny, but you have to remember that when you're making a joke, you're making it to other people. It's not just what makes you laugh. Other people got to laugh too. And then she was like, huh. And then the very next joke was right back to the same thing. So I've taught her nothing.
Okay. So you told her like, it's not that you aren't funny. You just need to try harder.
Well, I just try again. Well, listen, we can't.
Listen.
Not everything can be funny.
More parents need to tell their kids, okay, toughen up. Try a little harder, okay? It's not easy out there.
You can't be. It's just that in this moment, it wasn't your best material.
Look, Adam's a sexy little drill sergeant of a daddy, and I love it. Welcome to the show.
Me and my green army shorts.
Yeah, baby.
All right, so this weekend, and we talked about this at length last episode.
Oh, God.
This was the Jeff Bezos, Lauren Sanchez.
The royal wedding.
But truly, Jax, truly. Like bigger than, because it was a $50 million wedding if and I bet you it was more than that.
For sure.
But what was crazy is they had to move it to the island of San Giorgio in Venice because there were so many protests. So you had to make sure that no, peasant, no plebeian could get to the actual island.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because the way People Magazine, the way
How
they
do they
describe
spin this old girl?
The Amazon founder, 61, and the best-selling author, 55, tied the knot Friday, June 27th in a lavish ceremony. Now you're like, wait a second, Lauren Sanchez is a published author? Well, Jax, she did a kid's book last year. Shockingly, it went to #1 on the Amazon charts. Are you surprised?
On the Amazon charts
for
run
kids?
by Jeff?
No way.
No.
Anyway, yeah. So, Orlando Bloom, Tom Brady, Kim Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian, Kris Jenner, Kylie Jenner, Carly Kloss, Leonardo DiCaprio, Usher. Yeah, that's right.
Oprah was there.
Oprah was there. Bill Gates was there. Some pretty Diane von Furstenberg was there. Tommy Hilfiger was there. Domenico Dolce from Dolce & Gabbana was there. This is like by the way, I just want to say newly single Orlando Bloom.
Okay, so is that confirmed? Because TMZ dropped it, and
they've broken up.
Yeah, they are definitely.
They're done.
Yeah, it's been everywhere.
Yeah, because I know that it was like rumored when TMZ reports anything, but also
they're good. TMZ is always wondering, on it. TMZ's always accurate.
They're always on it, but she was on tour. Did you see the paparazzi video of him walking around though?
Well, there was one with Sydney Sweeney and there was one with Chloe.
No, with Orlando. Like Orlando just seems, I'm just like, you get on my nerves through my phone.
Really?
I don't know. And it was just like, I've never been, I'm neither here nor there for him. Like I don't really care, but I was just like, you seem like you are about to go into your like chaotic phase.
He's newly single.
Yeah.
He's a father. 2-time now.
Yeah.
He's got 2 ex-wives with kids that he has kids with. The first one cheated on him with Justin Bieber.
Right. Yep.
But which is quite the story. And then he dated Selena Gomez and then cheated on her and she wrote a song about it, which is nuts, which is crazy. But Orlando Bloom this is my first weekend single. I don't know what I'm going to, like, the lawyers haven't even started talking yet. It's this weird interregnum in divorce where it's like, I'm single, but like, I'm still married, but we haven't gotten down to brass tacks on how we're going to divide up the money yet. So I'm just going to go have fun. And he looked like, to me, just cruising out there.
And he went for like a little brunch, I'm sure, meeting with Leonardo DiCaprio the next day. And they were like, they were looking hungover. Yeah, taking notes. Also, the whole Kardashian, Jenner crew was there. I thought that they all looked fabulous and they're getting ripped apart on the internet, but I thought that they all looked great. Kris also if you had any doubt, that facelift was banging. It looked incredible.
I have to say,
Mummy
I
looked
thought she
good.
was if you look at the pictures, I thought Kris Jenner was the best dressed of all of them.
She looks fabulous. Kim wasn't,
she really does
Kim wasn't as strong, but no, Kris looked fat. Kris looked like the youngest. No, I'm just saying that, like, because they all look fabulous, but like Kris is aging backwards. So looking really, really good.
And so I think, so we don't know if Bezos' kids were there because they keep them out of the spotlight.
I heard none of them were there.
Okay, so
I'm also reading a lot of rumors. I'm deep in the Reddit portal.
So this is what People Magazine said, but it doesn't mean that, there are plenty of rumors. Now, People Magazine saying it's unclear if Bezos' 4 kids were there. And then some of the more hit you right in the face gossip rags are saying they weren't there.
Yeah.
Leads me to believe they weren't there.
Yeah.
Because, everybody that went to this wedding was photographed.
Yes.
Everybody.
And they wanted to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Except for Leo. Hat down. You see that photo?
So what was the deal? So Leonardo DiCaprio, if you've seen this picture, hat down over his face walking in.
Because I think, he probably just doesn't want his face to be seen, but there are people, because he's very outspoken when it comes to like environmental rights, et cetera. And this whole wedding was being very protested, even though they were like, they moved it and they were, protected, I guess. Like people were floating out like fake corpses, so they could get out there that looked like, protesting being like
the environment,
the environment, how much, how destructive Amazon is. So the fact that Leo was there, a lot of people were saying was, a bit, a little rough, but also I don't think he cares. Like you can also put a hat over your face. Like people know it's you. So I think it was just like, maybe he was partying all night. He didn't want his eyes to be seen.
I've seen his face so much that I can tell what his cheeks look like.
Exactly.
Like I know when it's you, buddy.
I know those forearms.
Yeah.
But it was bizarre because I feel like a lot of folks leading up to it didn't want to say that they were being associated with it. But then at the wedding itself, everybody was just like, rolling in on boats, waving, like looking like nobody cared that they were there. Like they didn't, you're at the wedding. It's not like, oh, I shouldn't be here. It's a bad look. No celebrities cared.
No, I don't think they do.
It was like the villain super meeting.
Well, I think because frankly, 4 or 5 years ago, there would have been some hints of like cancel culture or something like that. I think cancel culture has been canceled. Like, I think people just got it. Now they're back out there waving their flag. This is who I am. And I don't care if you don't like it. And there's some of that is good and empowering. Some of it can be, a little bit questionable. But the one thing that I thought was super interesting is, so Anna Wintour has resigned from Vogue.
Oh my God. Okay, this.
Yeah. And Lauren Sanchez this month happens to be the cover of Vogue in her wedding dress, which is, by the way, based on a Rita Hayworth 1946 film. And also so there's like a corseted gown that was based on that. And then there was another one based on the wedding dress is more Sophia Loren from a 1958 movie.
Even her hand placement, like it was a nod to a lot of like past covers and past fashion.
Wanted to go classic.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. And listen, as far as devil, like I know the devil wears Prada, but like
Anna would never have let that happen. She wouldn't.
It doesn't feel like an Anna Wintour thing, right?
No.
And she did Kim and Kanye on the cover or whatever, but it's like, Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's wedding feels like a People magazine cover, not a Vogue magazine cover. Is that fair?
It's fair. And I was even thinking about the Kim and Kanye because people were like, why are they on the cover? Like it is it's monumental to be on the cover of that. And usually you have a tie to some sort of fashion. Kim and Kanye would have more of a tie to fashion than this wedding,
especially at that point.
All. I mean, unless you're talking about like Amazon fast fashion. But no, I don't think she would let that fly. And people are really upset about it because you can say what you want about publications and, magazines, but like the cover still has like, it's still important. Like that's a big moment to be on the cover of that. And it feels like, oh, now this can also be bought out.
Yeah. Well, if you're Jeff Bezos, like put her on the cover or I'll buy it.
Yes.
I'll buy it.
And that's exactly what he would have done. And that's terrifying. But it's also reality.
Yeah. It sure is.
Okay. Can I tell you a rumor that I heard?
Give it to me.
Okay. I read deep in my night search that Lady Gaga and Elton John were both asked. They both wanted around like $6 million each. And then Jeff said no, that was too high. But maybe this is all, which doesn't seem like, maybe I'm just like lost in the Bezos money.
No, that's what it would cost to get them.
That's what absolutely. And why would he say no?
Maybe he feels, I think
principal?
probably principle, like you're gouging me. Yeah.
When
I mean,
you're
they're
spending
two of the greatest artists we've ever created as humanity.
You give Elton and Lady Gaga what they want.
I'd pay the bill for either of them.
Yes.
I love them. Yeah.
What do you see? Any truth to this little deep search here?
So somebody did perform, right?
I'm double checking. I don't think so.
One of the things that's interesting is you probably are not going to see any video from this wedding.
Inside, no.
You couldn't get off the boat without handing your phones over. And most of these people have more than one phone. Even their assistants had to hand the phones over.
So my research says it was an inside source who said the Lady Gaga information.
Okay.
So, I mean, take that as you will.
I feel like that sounds right.
But Usher and DJ Cassidy were among the stars who performed at the marital celebration.
So Usher was there. So I guess that makes sense.
He'd be a good show. He puts on a good show.
Just playing Caught Up to Jeff Bezos. DJ God Has Fallen in Love. Like, get me out of here. That sounds like hell on earth. Get Diplo. Or actually, no.
Confessions would be amazing. At a wedding. What a weird.
My Boo.
My Boo. Oh my God.
That's their wedding song is My Boo.
Hilarious. That would be amazing.
All right. Well, that's all the lies I have to spread.
It's okay. So I want to ask you guys this because I'm thinking about like, I do want to just quickly touch on the fact that Katy Perry went up to space like 3 months ago with Lauren Sanchez and was not at this wedding. I think that's kind of nuts. Like that is
they're saying she can't because she's on tour, but I'm like,
blah, blah,
that's
blah.
not okay.
Yeah.
Also, if you're going to choose one, I would have thought that she would have been there instead of Orlando because she seems closer to the grillionaires, whatever they are at this point, right?
I think Orlando is. I also, you got to remember, Jeff Bezos is a big Lord of the Rings fan and he was Legolas.
And
so
who is a hobbit?
No, elf.
Yeah.
And so
Gollum,
not Gollum. No, Gollum.
No,
Gollum is not an elf.
Okay. We'll sort that out later.
So, and I feel like Stephanie's going to win this question, but I'm going to ask the room.
Okay.
Stephanie, first off, for anybody that doesn't know, Stephanie's quickly becoming one of the favorite characters on this show, and she's just a voice. You don't see the camera. One day we're going to get a Steph cam.
Get her on Instagram. She's a fabulous woman.
But Steph is Italian, and therefore in the summertime goes to a wedding every weekend.
Yeah.
And that's been the same for probably since you were 12 years old.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So, but I'm going to make Jax and I answer this first, and then you can answer it. Okay. Because your answer is going to kick our answer's ass. What is the most obtuse, crazy expense you've seen at a wedding? Like somebody spent money on this or somebody spent money on that. Like, you know what? Because some weddings you go to, they're very low key. Like, you've been to both of my weddings.
Yeah.
And they were pretty small, both.
Lovely. Both of them.
Thank you. I
Great hits.
them.
I don't want to go to any more.
No, I think we're
yours,
done.
But
we're done.
Yeah, lovely time. I don't like, the weddings I've been to haven't been that crazy. Probably like bringing in a food truck to like a rural cabin. I don't know. Like my friend had a wedding. My friend had this like big wedding back in like 2019. There was a food truck there. I don't know. Like the weddings I go to aren't that wild.
I went to a wedding in my early 20s or mid 20s, I guess. And these two people, I knew from the person I went with that their combined income over the course of the year was about, like their family income was about 80 grand. They spent $50,000 on the wedding, and they spent 15 of that 50 on the flowers.
Oh,
it was crazy. I've never seen flower arrangements like this. And they were all white flowers, and there was like a cascading wall of them. Remember that big, the whole Instagram thing? Like,
yeah.
And it was like, so there was like a wall of flowers, and then there was like a cake, but then there was like the flowers next to it, and they were just as tall as the cake was. And I was like, oh my God, you guys spent too much money.
When I was married, like we had we just had a house thing.
Yeah.
And the flowers, even just for that, and like my best friend did it. Like she's a florist. Flowers, sneaky
crazy
cost, wild cost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huge. Okay.
If flowers and your photographer,
grand.
Your photographer's
photographer's worth it though. At Steph. Yeah. At Steph.
All right.
Okay.
Steph,
yeah. What's your,
give us your craziest expense. I know you've been to weddings of like 400 and 500 people.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I mean, a lot of the weddings that I've been to are Italian weddings. So they all kind of follow the same suit, but it ranges from like, everybody has like a midnight snack, which can range from food trucks to porchetta meals.
Oh.
And then like some people will bring in like McDonald's for everyone.
Oh my God, yum.
That's an easy one though, because it's cheap.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Right?
There was one that I went to. It was like a 500 person wedding, and like the entire roof was basically covered in flowers. Also,
Stop.
and I
The
was
roof?
like like it was like
Think of the birds.
it was like suspended kind of from the ceiling.
Oh,
So it was.
I thought you meant the
Whoa.
outside roof.
Yeah.
I was like, what's the
Sorry,
birds?
no, like the ceiling.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
so like thinking that many people at a wedding to begin with, and then all the flowers, and they had like a band in the beginning, and then in the evening, and then like oysters and like.
I'm always blown
everything.
away by those weddings because it would be like, here's a DJ and then the band's going to be on for, and I'm like, you have both?
Yeah.
I thought it was one or the other.
Our old co-host TJ, when he was married, you were away, but he got married a couple summers ago, and he had like this cover band. They were one of the best bands because usually you just see DJs, and I'm like, I forgot about bands at weddings.
They're great.
The band was so good,
Yeah.
and everybody was just like having a great time. And I was like, right, like you don't again have to dance all night to My Boo and Confessions, right? Like you can dance to live music. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Ah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I love a band at a wedding. But yeah, everything that I've been to, nothing has been like crazy. I mean, there's like fireworks. Like it depends.
What?
It depends what, I mean, I guess it's
I feel
The
classified.
fireworks display.
Fireworks, yeah.
Fireworks are wild.
Quite a lot of people do fireworks in Italian culture.
If I
Yes.
ever get married again, I'm going to do fireworks in Porchetta.
I did a
Porchetta?
wedding.
Yeah,
I went to a wedding once where they had the Chinese lanterns that float
Oh my
off
God,
into the sky, and it was
beautiful.
beautiful. But so many people didn't do it right, and the lanterns would just be like they get like
It's
6
like a
feet in the air, and
forest
just
fire?
burst into
Yeah.
flames.
I feel like that's a bad omen to have at your wedding.
It was-
Like everything's
the marriage
bursting
didn't
into
last.
flame. Yeah.
it didn't. It
No
didn't.
way. No way.
Maybe made it 2-3
Wow.
years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Italians
Yeah.
doing it
was
right
great.
again.
It was great.
Yeah.
Now, listen, we've asked you for voice notes, and we got a real doozy,
Yeah.
like a great
Yeah.
one. Stephanie, who is this from? What's her name again?
This is from Liz PR on Instagram, and this is what she has to say.
Hello, Adam, Jax, and Stephanie. My name is Liz in Toronto. I'm a huge fan of your podcast. And what I love most about your podcast, it just sounds like me and my best friends just hanging around, shooting the breeze. You know, I love that. So thank you for that. You didn't say how to leave a voice note, so I'm hoping Steph can lift this from your Instagram message account and maybe post this. Here's my comment. I'm a hag, if you catch my drift. I come from the performing arts world, and I'm a creative, and a lot of my closest male friends are gay. So I'm a hag. But what I noticed, the flip side is rarely true. Like you always see gay men and straight women being really close friends, but you rarely see straight men and lesbians be really close buddies. It's not as common and it's not as out there. And I love the fact that you two have this dynamic and clearly are very affectionate towards each other and really, really good friends. Can you comment on that? And happy Pride.
Happy Pride. I love that.
Can you comment on loving
I'm
lesbians?
being friends with a gay.
Oh, Leslie Jax over here. No, okay. First of all, I love what she sent. I love that question.
Yeah.
Because it is interesting, and
It's a waste,
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
honestly, that this does not happen more often.
and it doesn't, because I know a lot of, like, you know, my queer lesbian gay friends, like they don't have a lot of like male friends, and like the fact, like just like straight male friends. And I mean, I think it's because, Adam, I think that you're a bit of a rare gem, and that you're curious. Like, and don't get weird. I'm going to get like sappy for a second, but like, you're like curious, you're excited. You treat me like a regular, like, not that I'm not a regular person, but like, there's no difference in between us. Like,
No.
you just treat me like a regular person. But when you do have questions that are specific about the queer community or about like the lesbian experience, it's not like being like, two chicks banging. What's that like? It's like, hey, how's your experience like? You know, what is it like?
Yeah.
I also, a lot of my friends aren't, you know, lesbian friends aren't friends with men, because like a lot of men are trash and do treat lesbians like that. Because I was thinking about this too, because I'm more mask presenting. Growing up, I found myself feeling safer around simple straight dudes, like just like a guy to hang out with. And I have a lot of male friends, like a lot of like straight male friends. And I think it's just because We're attracted to usually the same type of women.
Yes,
but also
true.
because there's just like a simplicity in the relationship that I don't know. I just, you like me for me and I like you for you, and we aren't going to fuck. If that, but like, excuse my language, but like we aren't going to have sex.
We're not going there. Yeah.
Well, yeah. And it's simple, and we can just hang out and get things done.
Well, I think you hit on something.
Is that fair? Yeah.
Guys, and this goes to, and there's like research on this.
Yeah.
Like men, when you get past a certain age, your friends are sort of your friends, and it's hard to make new ones. And it's really, male friendships are very, very challenging. And I never expected to say this because I'm a pretty like affable guy and whatever. But even with my closest friends, especially ones where, you know, they get kids and I get a kid and you've got families and your family becomes so important or whatever, it becomes very difficult sometimes to get out and bond.
Yeah.
And so, you know what, I think straight guys don't know most straight guys just don't know how to talk to women. Like straight up don't know how to talk to women. But most straight guys, I'd say, it's like a thing. We don't know how to talk to each other. Like without it being about like, you know, boner jokes or something like that, and having a deep conversation and expressing any sort of feeling is like a no-no, right? Like even just like doing like a bro hug or whatever, like it takes a while to get to that point with somebody. I can't
even imagine, like, you're so affectionate with me, and like, it's
100%,
like,
but we've known each other for 10 years.
Yeah. It's funny because I see it in my brother too, that like my brother, like, you know, he has 2 kids and he has friends, but like his focus, his priority is his family. And as you get older, that kind of becomes more and more, like, for lack of a better term, I bet isolating. So it would probably be like hard to find friends as a guy.
Straight guys, you're missing out. And I'll tell you why.
Lesbians are a blast.
First off, so much fun. And second, it's like, listen, I know that I know that the whole thing about being gay is you sleep with people that are of the same sex.
Yeah,
and
that's what they say.
There's like a definite corner of the internet where that caters to that for straight men that want to see that and whatever, and it's all fake. You can learn so much about women via your lesbian BFF.
Yeah.
Because listen, we don't know anything about women, nothing. And you know who can teach you? Somebody who is a woman and sleeps with them.
But I will say that lesbians, if you're listening, sometimes a man, just a straight hairy man, can simplify things, because lesbians have the tendency to overcomplicate things.
Really?
And oh my God, yes. And so when I'm talking to you being like, what do you think about this? You're like, I don't know, just do it this way. And I'm like, that makes so much sense. Like, it's just like you give me this other perspective. So I'm glad that we got that Leslie link.
Well,
I hate that. I'm so sorry for saying that.
It's a wasted opportunity, I think, on both sides. Like listen, straight women and gay men have figured it out.
Yes.
Straight men and gay women need to figure it out.
Yeah, they do.
We do.
I think that we're behind.
But I have to be honest, I don't blame gay women at all for being standoffish.
Yeah.
Because the relationship between gay men and gay women is a challenge.
Yeah.
On the whole, I'm not saying in every case. And the relationship with straight men and just about everybody can be a challenge, just because it's a very again, it's a weird thing the way we're conditioned. It really is.
I also don't have the experience of being like a more femme presenting. Like, I don't think that would change it for me and you. I think if I was like more femme, you wouldn't be like, come here, baby.
You gotta remember too, I had a lot of female friends. Like
you've known a lot of lesbians for a very long time.
And not just lesbians, like straight girls. Like I had a couple of really good friends in high school. You know, you develop crushes on them or whatever, but it's never anything serious. But like the most of the time, like we're just, I don't know, it's sports and you're with a bunch of guys, and then you're at the lunch table at high school and you're with a bunch of guys, and then it's like, I don't know, you just sort of cordon off. It's bizarre. It's really strange.
So is it fair to say that you've never felt it for me?
It's fair to say that, yes. I'm sorry.
No, that's fair. You know what? I think
it's fair to say you've never felt it for me.
I haven't, but you know what? We can keep the
this is why we keep coming back.
No, but it's true. It's a nice, here, give me your hand.
Thank you.
It's a nice friendship.
It is.
Thanks for sticking. That's a good ally right here.
Yeah,
a good ally.
I apprient the
I love that. That's a really nice
That's
question.
Very insightful, I thought. Yeah.
I always just thought it was normal, but I guess we are kind of a different duo.
Yeah. Or maybe not a lot of straight guy and lesbian content out there. I don't know if there's a huge market for it. We're hoping there is.
I
don't know.
Do you want to hear a lesbian and a straight man's take on pop culture and dating? Here we are. There you go.
Speaking of, hey, do you guys remember when the celebrity internet blog thing took off. And I'm thinking specifically of like
I was
when
very vague. I don't know. what you
Perez
mean.
Hilton really hit his peak, and Just Jared and some of those other delisted, some of those blogs.
Delisted and like pop, pop whatever. There was like 8 of them. Yeah.
Just Jared, I think, used to be, was that the funny one? There was one, I think maybe it was delisted. One of the writers was just cutting and hilarious. And
Just Jared was really funny.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe
no, it was Michael. I think it was like a guy named
Delisted?
Michael K or something from
Just
Delisted.
Jared was very professional.
Was it?
Yeah.
What was the
Delisted
funny
was the
one?
one where it was like a, yeah, I remember reading, I think the guy's name was Michael K. And he was like talking about Matt Lauer's various affairs before the Matt Lauer,
Yeah,
Matt
it was
Lauer
delisted.
stuff.
It
He
was
just was
delisted.
having, and he was like, too bad, Matt, you're going to have to sleep on the, 1 time a month stained sheets. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you're going to have to go home. And I was like, oh my God, like this is such an aggressive thing. And when blogs started, Perez Hilton, Delist, some of these other ones, they were basically there to take celebrities down. Before that, we only ever saw celebrities at like their best. Influencers didn't exist.
Yeah. It was like, it was, looking back, it was like bully culture. Like
Terrible.
It was just like bringing them down, especially like Perez. Yeah. 2005 is when Michael K launched Delisted.
Wow.
He wasn't even the author. He started it.
Wow.
There's a little history for you.
Yeah. So what's interesting is there's been one, and I didn't know this existed, but it was more of a UK focused one. And the founder of it was posing as a woman and has been outed as just a straight guy and is asking for privacy because it's a part of a legal document. But Tattle Life is essentially the same thing as what Perez Hilton used to be.
This is a mess. Yeah.
And it talks about just influencers. It doesn't do anybody that's got like a business, like my life is an influencing thing. And I kind of like what you and I sort of do, right? Well, I mean, you more than me, because I just do like a lot of hockey content and stuff like that. And then stuff with you. I don't do a lot of like, come with me while I go do groceries or something like that. I don't really do that kind of content. And the people that do, that's what Tattle Life talks about. And I just thought you'd find it kind of interesting because it does 12 million monthly visitors, which by the way would outstrip any news organization in Canada. So 2 victims of the bullying, because it's crazy. Northern Irish couple with a clothing line and a small business.
Oh my God.
Donna, their name were Neil and Donna Sands. And these guys are just like micro influencers in Ireland. And micro influencers is not an insult term, by the way. It means you've got a smaller scale audience, but you've got a locked in, insanely like loving group that adores you, right? So that's the industry term. It's a micro influencer. You got 100,000 followers. They all friggin' love you. Yeah. That's very valuable brand space.
Yeah, micro sounds small, but it's like, it's not small. Yeah.
They're talking micro in comparison to like, Selena Gomez and her 20 million followers.
Exactly.
But Donna discovered she'd been targeted by this site by users when a friend alerted her to the fact that people in her office were laughing over a 45-page thread about her. And what's crazy about this site is that much like, and there was one celebrity gossip site I remember back in the day. It was based out of Toronto that would have something for every city. And it was the celebrity gossip site for normal people.
Yeah.
And what it would do is like you could submit like your ex-girlfriend and be like, this is her. And you'd submit a picture and then you submit. And then the author of the site would comment on it.
Wasn't it The Dirty?
The Dirty.
It was horrendous.
So
and it ruined people's lives. And I think like really hurt a few people
And that's what's happening here is that this, so they have, his name is Sebastian Bond. And he was basically, he was kind of going around on his own website pretending to be like a vegan influencer.
Dear God.
But he was the guy that ran it. And they expected he made somewhere in the neighborhood of 180,000 pounds a year on just Google ads. So roughly in US dollars, that's $250,000 Canadian, it's about 360. So, and these threads, people would take them seriously. Yeah. This is the thing. Like Perez Hilton would at least try to source some stories, right? Sometimes he was just being an asshole, but like he at least tried to go out and find somebody who might have some gossip about a person. These ones are just I read this and I think this. And then people will read it, not be media literate, and take it for real. And now this guy is telling the public, I want privacy. I want my privacy while we go through this legal matter. And I just thought, what a dichotomy.
I'm being quiet because I just, like, they say monetizing cruelty at the end. Like that, I don't think people realize like what an impact, like this sort of bully, it doesn't matter who you are, like this coward culture of people talking like, or spreading lies about people on the internet, like when they're just, you know, especially for these influencers, these like mommy bloggers and stuff. And mind you, there are some folks that are not doing, they're doing awful things, but like just because you don't know somebody and just because they're public doesn't mean you can, like, these people's lives are ruined.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like the mental health ramifications that come from this. And now this guy asking for privacy, it's like, oh, do you want, like, and I mean, we don't have that. We're not anywhere near this level, but like we even see some comments like I can go on any random day and I will see something very quickly about my sexuality that is cruel, that is like derogatory. I don't take it seriously because it's just, but like it's always from somebody without a profile picture, somebody that doesn't have any fault, somebody that's just like passing time by being cruel. And I don't understand it. And the internet has given us this like just it's free range to be really, really unkind and have no punishment for it. And I'm glad that, I mean, this is on a broader scale, but like, I hope, I mean, it's going to be a long time, but like internet legislation around this sort of bullying is wild.
It's crazy. And this is based in the UK where they have stricter laws on some of this stuff, not just internet. Like you can, like the idea of quote unquote, the North American idea of freedom of speech doesn't exist. In Britain, you are held accountable for some of the things you say. Now, there's times where they take that way too far.
Yes. Yeah.
But there is sort of I disagree with how their laws are written on it.
Yeah.
However, when you see stuff like this, it's so interesting because we think that the internet culture here is harsh, or the tabloid culture, TMZs and whatever.
The UK is
Europe in general.
Yes.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's sorry, yeah.
So Katie Price, I know you've probably heard of her, and she used to be with this guy Peter Andre, and they were like this big sort of they were like the original influencers like 15 years ago. Katie has done several stints in mental health hospitals because of this website. And it's not because, like, it's different from a comment section on, say, TikTok or Instagram, because anybody can say anything there and no one's going to take you seriously. But for some reason, every once in a while, these sites get enough where even brands are looking at them. And what happens is, if you're an influencer and you're going for a big pitch meeting, and Jax, you've been in these big pitch meetings, and the person across the table from you goes, I really, really like you, but what do you have to say about this?
Yeah.
And they'll print off something from Tattle Life, and they'll be like, well, it's completely made up. And well, how do we know that we can't have our brand associated with somebody?
Like this Tattle Life website. Yeah. And it's like, because it was so big, it's seen as a serious publication, right?
Yes.
It's like it
well,
has.
how could this many people watch it if it's not true?
Exactly. It's like, it isn't, that's wildly frustrating. And I can see like, and Katie Price has been around for like years and years, but like doing these stints, because even if you know that this isn't the truth, you're stuck in your head that like she's probably gone crazy, for lack of a better term. But like I can understand how you would need mental health like support for that. That's wild. And I just, again, I think of like, I mean, North America is a bit different, but I hope that stories like this, because the biggest thing I think about is, the junior high, the high school culture right now. I hope that people see like, oh, there is actually, there is an other side to when you say mean things online, because I think of the high school students that go home and they read comments from anonymous people spreading terrible things about them from their bullies. It's just such a different world. There is ramifications, or there are, what's the word I'm looking for? There are
consequences
for your internet actions.
Yeah.
And that is something that like, I hope that like younger people online need to know.
Yeah. And I have actually, so my thing is, I believe social media to a child is the same as smoking.
Yes.
And so my rule will be, and I know Everly will get around this. I know she'll lie to me. I know she will try to do it anyway, because that's what kids do, and they're supposed to try to do that. And then you're supposed to catch them and then get them in trouble for it. But I have already said, you will not have social media until you're an adult.
Yeah.
And even I think 18 is too young, but that's an adult. So I can't stop you. but you are not going to have you're not going to have Instagram. You're not going to have TikTok and have any of that stuff. I know she's going to try to have it on her own
She's
and
going
hide
to be
it.
sneaky,
I know,
but at least you're doing at least you're trying.
Because none of these organizations have like a kid filter, like except for YouTube. YouTube does, but YouTube will block adult content for kids. That's why it's so successful in the kid realm. Like that's why these, Blippi and all these guys are making tens of
Blippi makes bank. Yeah,
you know that Blippi doesn't even perform as Blippi on tour. So if you're not aware of who Blippi is, this is a guy who was like did a comedy trio thing, was failing in everything, didn't quite work out, and then all of a sudden he's like, I'm gonna do a kids show.
Yeah.
And he does this kid show where it's very kid oriented. They go and they explore things. They make little science experiments, whatever. And Blippi, the guy, doesn't even play Blippi anymore, even on the YouTube channel. And Blippi goes on tour, but Blippi is so crazy. There's like a Blippi for the southwest of America.
Right. Yeah.
There's a Blippi for the southeast of America. There's a Blippi for the northeast and the northwest.
He's like franchised. Yeah,
he's franchised Blippi.
Geographically franchised.
But when a band goes on tour, let's say it's the 1975 we're at Glastonbury, so I'm going to bring them up. Imagine the 1975 could clone themselves and go on tour to all the smaller markets that they miss, and you could do 4 or 5 concerts in the same night. That's Blippi. So when Blippi goes on tour, you could have 4 or 5 shows in the same night in different cities, which is insane.
Blippi,
and
Blippi
YouTube's
knows.
child protection stuff like keeps the bad stuff out. It allows for that to exist.
Blippi knows.
Isn't that crazy? Where Instagram and TikTok don't have that.
We should get cloned and then be different places.
That's what I'm saying. This is why we should have, when we created our internet personas, which are just basically ourselves, we should have had glasses and a hat or something like that. Because if you can cover your face a little bit, it makes it easier. Switch you out.
Steph, is there always time?
Is there time? Well, we're not popular enough yet.
No, you
You
guys will have to go.
I don't even have a last name on the internet. I gotta deal with that first.
You're just yaks. Anyway, Tattle Life is on hold for now, but there are, what do they call it? They say that power abhors a vacuum, so somebody else will take its place.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Well, it's like when you have something at the top and then you take it away, something else will pop up.
You never cease to amaze me with all of your little metaphors or sayings. And you know what? You say them with such conviction that they could be complete BS, and I still believe them.
No, it's real. That's real. That's a real saying. I don't know if I nailed the exact words of it, but yeah.
Aqua shorts are the legs of a god.
There you go. Thank you.
I didn't even say that.
That is what the person at Lululemon told me when I bought these shorts too.
And they aren't Lulu dupes, right?
They are real Lulus.
Ooh,
they are real Lulus.
She fancy.
I bought it last year on their summer sale because I always wait till mid-July and then I go,
dude, Adam loves Adam Wild loves a sale.
Loves a little sale, loves to walk in. All right. Now let's get into what you're dying to know here.
All right.
And Stephanie sent me some great questions this morning. Thank you so much for submitting them. As always, probably best to put it through Instagram.
Adam Wild Jacks on Instagram.
But you can always DM us on TikTok too. Whatever works for you. Love producer Stephanie. This is from Katie. What is her origin story to becoming a trio with you both?
Stephanie was our digital boss at our former employer. And then we met. We I don't know, I think we all hit it off right away, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Adam and I, we've been collaborating with you for years. And then you went freelance about a year ago. And you've been working with the show, exec producing it, making it pop, making it look good. We also do pretty much all content. We work together on a freelance level all the time.
Yeah.
You shoot all my campaigns, do the videography and photography.
Steph does a lot of mine too when I do them.
Yeah. Steph's been Steph, I want to call you an Italian stallion, but I know I should. You're just so lovely. You're so hardworking. So that's the origin
Steph
story.
also, so you're I think it's important to mention to people. So you do this show.
Yeah.
You do another show, which is called.
I do 2 other podcasts.
I was going to say, yeah.
I do this show, and then I do Off the Shelf with Morgan Book. It's a book podcast.
Okay.
And then I do another podcast that's not out yet. I won't say yet.
Okay.
Released TBD. And then, but you also do wedding photography.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah. So I do wedding videography, a little bit of engagement, family photography, and lifestyle photography, and then videography and video editing for like other influencers.
And you're also a content creator in your own right.
Also content creator for myself. Yeah.
And she never stops
And you've
typing.
got family businesses as well that you're involved in.
Yes, I own a
You're a weed
cannabis
boss.
store.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
so sick. You
A
own a
weed,
cannabis.
like
and it's
a
called what?
beautiful one. Yeah.
I own a cannabis store called Minerva Cannabis at Bathurst and DuPont.
Yes. It's so nice.
Yeah, a lot of random things that I dip my feet into, but here we are.
Steph's the one without a camera, and yet she's the most impressive one.
I think she has more jobs than both of us combined.
She does.
She does.
She does. No question.
Hell yeah,
Steph's
Steph.
always coming from somewhere or working with something. And what always amazes me about Steph, just while we're on the subject, is if I had to manage that many schedule changes, that would stress me out. Steph comes in, she's like, hey guys, how's it? She's always the most relaxed in here.
She's always chill. Always chill. And I will say that she uses her calendar like both of us should.
Yeah.
I
maybe
do.
that's it. Maybe that's it.
Natalie has made me use my calendar and it has changed my life.
Yes.
I'm better about it. I truly better than I was 5 years ago. You have to admit that.
Look at these.
You have to.
Look at this little smile.
You better
Look
friggin'
at this
admit that, or I'm going to
little
come over
friggin'
there.
smile. I love you. No, you know what, Adam? You are very consistent. I will say that. You're excellent.
you. I'm
trying to be a bit more like you.
Okay. All right, guys. This is for the entire room from Shanhay. Oh, Shanhay. Sorry. Shanhay.
Try it one more time. Okay.
What do you think is worse, being left on red or being left on delivered? So you know when some people have the red receipts.
Yeah.
Some people just have delivered. So you don't know if they've read it or not. Because that's how I like it. I like to be mysterious.
Yeah, left on, which is worse? Being left on red.
You think so?
Yeah, spy. Yeah.
See, I feel like left on red, there's a little bit of finality to it. You have left me on red. Clearly, you have made the decision that whatever I have sent you is not worth responding to. So that goes back to my old single guy ethos, which is if you don't want me, I don't want you either.
Hell yeah. Love that.
That's
Okay,
always
yeah.
been my thing.
Yeah.
You don't want me, I don't want you either. It doesn't matter how much I like you. If you don't like me like that, then this isn't worth it. And
strong, independent woman over here. I love it.
Listen, it took me a divorce to get to that
Yeah,
point.
honestly, true. Yeah.
But trust me when I
Fair,
say, it works.
Yeah.
And if you tell yourself that a bunch of times, it hurts a little bit less. But when you're left undelivered, you're never quite sure if they got it. So there's that little part of you that's like, what if they're busy and they're caught in a tornado somewhere, or their phone dropped in the lake, and it's like, and you're waiting like 4 or 5, 6 days, and then you're like, maybe I should call Adam Wild and Jackson do a left on red segment.
I was literally about to say, we need people to have.
Yes.
We need the mystery.
I don't think that's going away.
We need the mystery.
Steph?
Yeah, I guess maybe left on delivered, because then you're just like running through all the scenarios in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, because then I can ruminate for a minute and then I'll move on to.
Will you move on?
Well, yeah, because I'll be anxious about something else in no time. The thing about anxiety is you can always find something new to be scared of.
Again, power abhors a vacuum. Anxiety abhors everything being
Adam,
well.
you just spoke in like Gaelic. What
I'm telling you is that anxiety is so great because it's like, hey, I solved this problem. It's like, well, which of these problems do you want to ruminate on next,
it's baby? Like, Jax, are you single? No, I have anxiety. We're always together. Like, we're good.
Andrew, this is the last question we'll do today. I love this one. Guys, keys to having a successful summer. Because Jax, and I think you're the best at this. You always have a good summer.
I don't know.
You're good at doing stuff though. There's nothing. I never look at a Jax summer and go, she didn't take advantage of the events that were happening.
Yeah, even if I'm in like a weird place. I think that it's a fake it till you make it. Like if you can get outside in sunshine and just be like, and think about the winter, even at like, I think maybe it's just blind faith. Yeah. Of getting out in the sunshine and being like, I need to have a good summer. And then I get to have a good summer.
Okay.
I don't know. Is that too vague?
Is it being, a little vague. It's a little vague.
Okay. Well,
like and what I'm saying is like, okay, for me, as a father of a 6-year-old, a good summer for me is going to look a little different from yours. But for me, it's like, okay, if I can sneak out for a couple of dinners with some friends, you know, and you do it not on like a Saturday or a Sunday where everybody else does that in the winter. You want to do it on like a Wednesday and you're sitting on a patio. You're like, wow, life sure is grand. As a parent, you're like, that is just never on the menu. You can't do that. So if you get out for one of those, it's like, wow, I really feel like I got my summer in. And then, you know, my kids in daycare camp or whatever. And then on the weekends we're swimming in the lake or something like that.
Okay. So wait, the actual ingredients
to
a good summer. You need at least one good, I'm not talking like in the bog of Toronto Island. You need one good swimming day, like a really nice long beach day. That can be the ocean. That can be somewhere, anywhere else. I love the patio idea, but like you need a long patio session where you're not sure what's coming next. It's like, should we go somewhere else? Should we get, you know what I mean? One nice hike and one nice late night dance. Where you're out dancing somewhere late night.
That's romantic.
Well, no, like even with your friends, like just like one spontaneous late night dance, late night. No,
I just go. I'm gonna go late night dance with my buddy Steve Dangle.
Adam, A, number one, we have been dancing late night, and B, your other co-host Jesse Blake has been somebody I like continuously go late night dance.
He's a great dancer too.
He is incredible. And you know who the lesbians love is Jesse Blake.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, he is a hit with the lesbians. But yeah, like just, I don't know, fun. And sunscreen. Sunscreen is an important part of summer.
All right. Do we have recommendations?
Alanis Morissette's set at Glastonbury over and over and over and over. Oh my God. She played, what is that song? Uninvited?
Yeah.
Like she sings better than she did in the 90s. Like I'm like getting chills thinking about it. We can watch it right after this. It's wild. She was incredible at Glastonbury. She looks good. Her voice is even more powerful. Yeah.
I like that.
I was about to cry. It was just so nice.
Natalie, okay, so you're going to forgive me for this, but there is a reality TV show that I think is going to be a banger. And it's new. And it's only a couple episodes old. And sometimes with reality TV, you know, within a first few couple episodes, you're like, okay, this has got it, or it doesn't. You can tell it's like, this show ain't going anywhere. They don't have, or they're going to have to rejig the cast next season if they're going to survive, whatever. And it is the kids of certain reality stars. And I can't for the life of me remember the show. So I
love how Adam always says Natalie when he talks about reality television, because he's like, well, my wife Natalie is watching the show. So by proxy, I am too. Adam, it's like you have always loved reality television. I do love
reality television, but she's the one, she's my gateway. She's the connoisseur. She's the one that goes, we're watching this and we're going to give this a try. Now, since I can't remember the name of that show, I promise you I'll have it for the next one. Watch The Valley season 2. Oh my God. If you are a Vanderpump Rules fan, that show just keeps getting better and better and better. And apparently Lala, now Sheena's already been on it. Lala's going to come on it. Like some of your favorite characters. Jax Taylor, for as crazy as that guy is amazing television. Love Brittany. Like it's just, if you're in the Vanderpump universe, the Vanderverse, you've got to see the show. I guess I'm assuming neither of you are. Because if you were, you'd be like, holy crap, I need to watch this.
I know I need to watch. I've watched a little bit of it. We had Sheena on the show when we did a radio show a few years ago.
Sheena Shea, who is awesome.
But the only thing I know is, what's the, Sir?
Oh, Sir, the restaurant.
Yeah, the restaurant.
You went to that restaurant.
I've been Sir. It's beside like one of the biggest gay bars in LA. So like I've been there, and it's also right beside a book club that I go to, if you know what I mean.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a great
book club.
It's right in the village. It's wonderful.
That's cool. Yeah. So Lisa Vanderpump sort of created all this and has created all these characters, and she was original Real Housewife of Beverly Hills, and left the show, but has had so much on the executive producing side. She's launched so many careers.
Girl is a business lady.
Yeah. And when you go into Sir, I'm assuming you saw the flower arrangements.
Yeah. And they have like the car out front and everything.
She does that. Lisa gets in and she goes in and checks. Make sure that the flower arrangements are up to, that's all her idea.
It's also because there's a lot of drama that happens in the alleyway, I think.
Yes,
on the show.
Because they're restaurant, right?
Smoking.
They go smoking always out
smoking, and that alleyway is constantly.
Have you watched Vanderpump Rules?
I've watched the first season. That's it.
Please keep watching it. It is so good. It is such a good reality show.
I'm really busy watching Alanis Morissette's
and
performance
girls.
I'm watching it right now.
Oh.
Okay. Gotta go.
All right, guys. We will see you next week. And Jax will be hitting us most of the time from Halifax.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Halifax for most of the month. Yeah.
So we'll be doing sort of remote sessions, but we'll get a good little up close from the East Coast. Do you think you're going to do any East Coast calls while you're out there?
Absolutely.
So you won't have to pay long distance. That's nice.
Maybe actually, you know what? I'll put it this way. I may have a couple special guests for some East Coast calls. Yeah. So that's all I'll say. And if you're out and about in Halifax and you see me, I would love to say hello to you, and we can have a little chat and maybe eat some. I'm getting weird. Like I was gonna say,
eat some
seafood together. I'd love to say hi to you. Sorry for being weird. Okay. Yeah. Dance.